Life, sweet life, sweet life, sweet life. Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make this ombre drip cake. So first we're going to start off with my high humidity buttercream. As I always say, I will link the recipe in the video below because I did make a video making this. So I'm using a neon pink food coloring, and that's what I'm going to color half of the icing because the top of the cake is going to be white and the bottom is going to be pink. Now I'm just going to go in and do my white buttercream at the top, and I'm going to go about halfway down with the white buttercream, and then for the bottom half I'm going to go in and with the pink buttercream, and then we're going to smooth them both together with our scraper. And guys, this step is so much easier if you use two different spatulas, one for the pink and one for the white. But of course, I just like to make my life harder and more difficult, so I'm using the one spatula. But if you're going to try this for the first time, please use two different spatulas. Don't be like me. Work smarter, not harder. Okay, guys, so while the cake is setting up in the fridge, we're gonna get the toppers ready. So we're gonna be using a floating happy birthday topper. We're gonna be using these macarons that I got from Walmart, I believe. And so I'm going to be using the pink and the cream one. And I'm actually going to be adding just a little bit of gold leaf flakes to each one of the macarons instead of actually painting them gold. Sometimes I paint them gold with luster dust, but this time I'm just going to add a few gold flakes, and I just like the little gold accent that it gives them. So now we're gonna prep the flowers for the top of the cake. So the white ones are actually artificial flowers and the pink ones are actually real flowers. So I'm gonna show you how I prep my real flowers for my cakes. First I just use scissors to cut the stems, and I cut them pretty short because I don't want too much of the stem to actually go into the cake. And then I'm actually going to wrap those stems in floral tape, and I got this from Dollar Tree, I believe. So there are several different ways that I've seen people actually cover the stems, and I'm going to just use some piping gel, which is going to act as a glue for the floral tape, and I'm going to completely cover that stem in floral tape all the way down and even under the bottom. I've seen people use saran wrap to cover the stems. I've seen them use foil. I've seen them stick the stems into actual straws. And probably the best and most effective way is the little poisey picks that you can use, which is actually you just sit the flower in it and then you stick the whole plastic pick into the cake. But you must cover your stem some type of way because you cannot stick real flowers directly into cake because that's not food safe and it could contaminate your cake. So you have to use some method, and there's a whole big debate on which method is the best. I think that the posy picks, or however you say it, are the best, but I am using floral tape and I'm just completely covering that stem and I'm getting it to stick with the piping gel. So the piping gel actually creates like almost like a sticky layer that hardens up and almost turns into almost like a plastic type, and not plastic, but it creates a film around the actual stem, and then you're putting the paper on top of it. Like I said, there's many different ways to do this. I think that the posy picks are the best, but today I'm showing you the method with piping gel and floral tape. When you are using fresh flowers, I suggest that you get your flowers like as close to the date of your order as possible, like the day before, day of if you can, and keep your flowers in water and only put them on the cake right before delivery or pickup or at the actual site when you set up the cake. I do not suggest that you put your flowers into your cake and leave it in the fridge overnight. I always place my real flowers on my cake at the very last minute before it's being picked up, before I deliver, or if I actually deliver, I put the flowers in the cake on site. And so the plastic flowers, you don't really have to worry about those. They just are on plastic stems, so they're fine and they can just go into the cake. Okay, so now we're going to prepare the white chocolate for the drip, and I'm just using plain white chocolate chips, and I'm going to melt those down with a little bit of coconut oil. And those are going to go into the microwave for about 20 to 25 seconds. I stop it after like 7, 8 seconds and stir it until it's completely smooth, and then I let it cool down to almost room temperature, and then that's when I place it in the bag and actually do the dripping onto a cold cake. This is just some gold bling ribbon that I'm going to add at the border, the bottom border of the cake. And I'm going to add it off camera, and I'm just going to glue it with my hot glue gun. Then we're going to get started on that drip. Like I said, I've let my chocolate cool down to basically room temperature, and then I've cut just a tiny hole, and that's what I'm going to do my drizzle with. Now this is just a bag with a little bit of leftover buttercream, and I'm just kind of marking where I'm going to put my flowers, and I do this under my flowers just so it kind of marks where I put them. And then if you've ever stuck anything into a cake, you know that it creates like almost a little hole. And so I like to do the little glob of buttercream because then it doesn't have that exposed hole. It actually goes and creates almost like a little puddle of buttercream, and then you don't actually see that hole in the cake. So I just alternated the flowers, pink, white, and stuck those on top. Buttercream, the little globs of buttercream also act as like little glue. So that's another reason why I put them under the flowers, because they don't move because they're sitting in that little pool of buttercream. So now as you see, I just did the same thing and put my macarons on with just a little bit of buttercream, and it creates like a little glue. You can also do that with piping gel if you wanted to stick them on with piping gel. Next, I'm going to go in with some of my gold leaf flakes and just randomly put them over. Also, if you had any spot on your cake where maybe your icing wasn't as smooth, or you had like a little blemish on your cake, you can use a little bit of that gold leaf to kind of just cover up your blemishes on the cake. But I'm just randomly putting it around the cake just for a little extra razzle dazzle, you know. And lastly, we're going to put our floating happy birthday cake topper. I have loved using these lately, and I love how the happy birthday is going horizontally and then the birthday is vertical. It's just so cute and chic to me. So that's going to be the last little touch that we put on the cake. And just going to kind of find a spot and kind of move the flowers out the way and line it up, and look how cute that is. I will link this topper below. You can get it on Amazon in different colors. And I just think it's so chic. And what I also like about it is because it's not that tall, it doesn't make your cake so much taller. So you don't need an extender box. So this is how it turned out, guys. How cute is this? And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and if you're not subscribed, go subscribe, guys. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye. Sweet, 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 sweet life.